New Zealand's North Island is so beautiful, it's hard to keep your eyes on the road. This trip followed the Pacific Highway around the Coromandel Peninsula, about 2 hours outside Auckland on the North Island. Narrow, winding roads are a challenge, and though you may not be a perfect navigator or map reader, you'll find the Pacific Highway an easy route to follow. Road trips allow you to set your own pace, and you never know who or what's around the next bend. First stop, the Thames, not the river, but a pioneer gold rush town. At the Mining Museum, you may encounter one of the Coromandel's most colourful characters.
The miners would get on at a platform and they'd go up or down, whichever. And it was operated by an oscillating mechanism up here. Unfortunately, it would often snap.
Not exactly the commentary you'd expect, but Susie certainly brings the tour to life, and she's an expert on the Coromandel's past.
It was originally settled by the Māori people. Then, of course, when the gold rush was announced, the population just absolutely boomed. It became 18,000, 20,000, and of course there were 120 pubs, and a lot of those pubs are still existing. Not operating as pubs, a lot of them backpackers.
With that dose of history filed away, continue your journey up the west coast. Lots of twists and turns, and luckily lots of places for photo stops. Next day, take a cruise around the Coromandel Islands. Now, New Zealanders are known for their gentle, kind manner, and Bruce Robertson is one of the friendliest you'll meet. Even local fishermen stop him for advice on where to cast their lines.
Coromandel got its name from one of the early ships that came here, the Coromandel. The ships used to come in from the other side of the world to get the big, long, clean spars from the kauri trees, which are our native trees. They take such a long time to grow. Sadly, so many of them have been cut down.
After the cruise, you'll be geared up to experience Coromandel's east coast. It's the more popular side for holidaymakers, with plenty of activities for water lovers. The South Pacific Highway winds around to the eastern shores, but if you want to see those kauri trees, take Highway 309 straight across the interior.
The loose gravel of this 309 road can really spin out these little cars pretty easily.
Locals will tell you to watch out for a small grove of kauris, only a short hike from the road, and sure enough, these superb trees are hard to miss. Some kauris have been around for 3,000 years, and it's hard to believe that this is how these magnificent trees started out. After the 309, small cars aren't geared to off-roading, so you may want to hook up with tracks overland for a four-wheel drive into the hills outside Whitianga. One of the stops along the way is a very special place, Project Kiwi. It's a sanctuary for New Zealand's national bird.
So tell us about this little guy.
This little guy's about 3 weeks old. His name's Tahi, which is Maori for one. They're very sharp claws. That's a little wing there, so you can see why he doesn't fly. There it is there. So what Project Kiwi do, they'll get the young chicken, bring them into the enclosure here, feed them up. Once they get to 800 grams, they'll let them go back in the wild. And once they're at 800 grams, they're big enough to look after themselves.
Very cute.
When it comes to conservation, New Zealanders can be proud indeed. And no one knows the Coromandel better than Doug Johansson, also known as Kiwi Dundee. Your first lesson? How to keep clean in the bush using the Kumera plant.
What you're seeing, that's the medicine coming out of the plant. Quite amazing, isn't it? You're walking back into a volcano. Come and have a look at this.
If you find the subject of ancient frogs and glowworms intriguing, Kiwi Dundee knows exactly where to find them, in an old mine shaft.
These are the glowworm threads.
Oh, wow.
Aren't they beautiful?
Oh, yeah. Huh.
See them? The glowworms use their lights to attract the insects. And the insects come along, Britt, and they fly into the threads and they get caught up. They're also slightly poisonous. Yeah, look at him go. As I say, it's an interesting little mine, miss. They didn't get much gold out of here, but it's... Well, look, here's a little frog. So that is actually the oldest frog in the world. They have the oldest skeleton of any frog or toad in the world. The name's Leopima hosteteri. But they don't live in water. They live in caves and under rocks. But you're looking at a living fossil. These things have been around for 50 million years. You're very, very lucky to see it.
Meeting people so passionate about their environment is a real highlight of this road trip. Other great memories? Stopping for fish and chips in Kauai. They say it's the best in New Zealand. And there are always plenty of surprises. Striped cows, for instance, or dancers from the Cook Islands who just happen to be performing as you pass by. Accommodation in New Zealand is top-notch and full of variety. The Karamana homestead in Coromandel town was exquisitely decorated and finished with native kauri wood. It was originally built in 1872, and you're even served a Victorian high tea. Cafe latte is on the menu at the luxurious Villa Toscana in Whitianga. Here the Italian owners have recreated a little piece of Italy overlooking Mercury Bay. And at the Bushland Park Lodge in Wangamatta, there's a whole forest full of glowworms in the backyard. For more information, visit our website on topoftheworld.net.